Nachos, where are you? I'm so tired of being by myself right now. I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking start the solo Midnight Society. This shit's pissing me off. Wait a minute. Is that a zombie? Oh shit. Here comes the spooky! What's going on, CHUDS and CHUD-ettes? Here comes the Spookies back. It was episode 20. Today we're going to talk about Scooby-Doo on a zombie island. We're also going to go down our list of favorite Scooby-Doo villains of all time. So sit back, relax, tie your buddy to a chair, and make him listen to your second favorite podcast, In Quarantine. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Here Comes the Spooky podcast. I am your host, Cincinnati Jeff, and with me always is my very good friend, my co-host, my partner in quarantine, Mr. Nachos McWerewolf. Nachos, how you doing, buddy?
How long is this fucking quarantine gonna last?
I don't know, man. The state of Missouri has it currently is indefinitely, but I think that's just so they don't make any more promises.
I heard something about May 1st, but we'll see how that goes. People are being pretty dumb about this.
Yeah, that's no shit. Before we get started, I guess that's a good segue. I wanted to mention this. The Here Comes the Spooky podcast, in no way, shape, or form ever wants to get political with you guys. We don't care if you fall on the red side or the blue side or the Republican, Democrat. We really don't give a rat's ass what side of the line you're on. All we want you to
about
understand
the Green Party
is that right now, the world is just in turmoil while they're dealing with this pandemic, and the best thing we can all do right now is just to stay at home. Minimize going out. Just do your best to stay away from everybody as much as you possibly can. There's no reason to party right now. You can hang out on Skype, which is what we do. We have video chats, video drinking parties. We do the podcast on Skype right now until we can get everybody back here in the studio. And even though I know where Nachos has been and Nachos knows where I have been, there's just basically a third degree of never knowing where that other person that you've run into contact with, maybe going to the store, the gas station, the mailman, whatever the case may be, that could potentially expose you to this virus. So, I know we're on board. The Spookhouse podcast says the same thing. Destroy the Brain, the Horror podcast, we're all kind of in agreement here. We see each other posting stuff on social media. Do your best. Just stay home right now.
Well spoken, man.
We're all going to get through this, right? Let's praise, the good people that are still working, right, at the Walmarts and the supermarkets, the gas stations, and, of course, all the healthcare providers there at the hospitals and things like that. So just wanted to say, man, right now, let's just stay at home.
Oh, and yeah.
So we're going to get started here. Today's episode is very, very special. It is my birthday episode. It's also It's also our 20th episode and a 420 episode. So this all kind of lines up really nice together. Here Comes the Spooky, the birthday boy and or girl gets to choose their movie to do for the podcast, for the review. And it can be anything. It can be a horror movie if they want, or it could be something completely off the rails. I did a little bit of both here. Nachos and I were like cutting back and forth, like, what's a really good one to do? We've been doing a lot of Evil Dead stuff. We want to finish up that series, but what can we do in the meantime? Like, do I want to do another Evil Dead, or like, can I just go off the rails? And so I was going to pick April Fool's Day, but we did that for April Fool's Day, so I didn't have to. And I was like, okay, how about Reanimator? That's a great one, right?
Dude.
I thought about maybe Highlander and things like that, and then like drunk one night at like 2:30 in the morning, I was like, I got it. I know what we're doing. This fucking movie we talk about all the time, Scooby-Doo on motherfucking Zombie Island. And it's not a live action, just so everybody knows, this is the cartoon one that came out in 98, and this movie is just fantastic. I mean, it touches on everything that you love about Scooby-Doo, as well as what you love about horror movies, and we're going to get into it. I mean, I cannot be more excited about an episode.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you, Nachos, for those words.
No problem. Anytime, buddy.
And, so before we get started, got a couple of small talking points here, some news here in the horror community. Related to the movie here, the new animated Scooby-Doo movie titled Scoob is skipping theaters and releasing digitally this May. So this was a movie it's fully animated, it's computer animated, that was going to come out in theaters across the nation. And what this is the origin of how Scooby and Shaggy meet, plus how they joined with Daphne, Freddy, and Velma to form Mystery Incorporated. It looked pretty funny in the previews. I saw the previews for it when I saw Sonic the Hedgehog. So I was very excited for it. I was definitely going to take my son to see that because I love Scooby-Doo. He likes him too. So, I mean, I'm actually looking forward to this. So this is actually something I'm definitely going to pay the rental fees from Amazon or wherever it releases digitally. It's usually like $15-$20, which I find kind of outlandish for a movie that I'm getting at home, since I'm not supporting the theater with popcorn and soda. But
okay. Dude, that's $20 is fucking steep. That's what you pay for like Blu-ray or DVD or whatever.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I want. Like, if I'm going to pay $20 or even $25, let me own it right away. Don't force me to just rent it for a 3-day weekend. Or
right, like you buy the digital copy and then they send you the fucking Blu-ray or something.
Something. I would even be okay with just buying the digital copy at that price. At least I know I own it somewhere.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the pricing point. That, again, I'm not in that business, so I really don't have much to say about it, but it just seems really steep to me. Granted, movie tickets themselves are, $12, $15 a pop, but you're paying for the experience as well.
I'm kind of on the fence. I was on the fence about it because how many times do we need the origin of Scooby-Doo and Mystery Inc. and all that? But then I heard fucking Tracy Morgan was going to be Captain Caveman, and I'm just like, okay, I'm down. Sign me up.
Right? It sounds pretty good.
I love me some Tracy Morgan.
The only other bit of news I've got is season 1 of Shudder's Creepshow, which was a television version of Creepshow. Will air on AMC each Monday night starting on May the 4th, so on Star Wars Day. So if you have AMC or you pay for cable, but you don't have Shudder, which if you like horror movies, you should. It's $5 a month, and it's nothing but horror movies. It's the Netflix of horror movies.
It's cheaper than a pack of cigarettes.
And it's so good. You got Joe Bob Briggs driving on there, and like all that fun shit.
Shudder is just full of fucking treasures.
They are. They've been killing it lately. They've been doing their own release movies. I saw one that just came out called The Room.
But not that The Room.
Not that The Room. Not the, oh, hi, Mark.
Now, already knowing there's a movie called The Room and probably 10 other movies called The Room, wouldn't you go for something else? Try something different?
The thing is like, it's about a room that they discover in this old farmhouse that they buy. Turns out that the family was murdered inside the house, and they start to poke around in this room that they find all locked up and stuff like that, and they find out the room itself grants wishes, whatever wish you desire. It could be anything. It could be...
Okay, I have a better title already. Magical Murder Barn.
Wishmaster. No.
The Rural Edition.
But, the preview tells you that, anything that you take outside of the house is instantly destroyed. So if you wish for money and you try to, go give it to a friend, if they take it outside the house, the money just turns to ash and basically just dissipates. And these people also can't have kids, so they wish for a baby, and then horror ensues from there.
Ooh.
It's pretty trippy. I enjoyed it for sure. It's not a slash and gore kind of thing, but it was pretty intense, like a fire at a circus.
Did you ever see The Gate 2?
I did, long time ago.
Okay, so same premise. The fucking dorky kid from the first movie gets wishes or something, and then he wishes for a bunch of money, but at some point it turns to actual human excrement shit.
Is that directed by Mick Garris?
I think it is. Starring Mick Garris, written by it's like FUBU, but whatever the acronym is for Mick Garris.
Wasn't Deacon Frost in the first Gate?
Yeah, he was. Little Stevie Dorff.
Yep.
Not Dorff, the fucking fake little fat comedian.
Not Brad, but yeah, I gotcha. So, before we kick off the episode, we wanted to run down a list of our top 5 favorite Scooby-Doo villains of all time. We had a really hard time settling on 5 apiece. So what we're going to do is we're going to each go through our 5 if it hasn't gone on for too long, because we can definitely be long in the tooth for sure. We might go over a couple more, but just to kick this episode off, we definitely want to do that. So,
yeah, I fucked up. I thought you said 10 because that's what I got.
Well, I mean, I did. We talked 5, and then I called you. And I was like, we should do 10. 5's really hard to choose, and it is because there's so fucking many. But
I had a hard time limiting myself to fucking 10.
I did too. I did this list 2 times, then called you today to be like, man, I'm still having a really hard time. Not because I'm having a hard time thinking of them, it's I'm having a hard time actually picking them. But, I mean, this is like when we talk Resident Evil. We can fucking wax poetic about Scooby-Doo all fucking night without
By the way,
repeating
I think at some point we probably should talk about the remake of Part 3.
Go
ahead, birthday boy. You go first.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, before I did I was going to let you do your first one, because I'm pretty sure what your first one's going to be.
In no particular order, it's Captain Cutler. The Ghost of Captain Cutler.
Well, that's what I was actually going to say. Our honorable mention was going to be the Ghost of Captain Cutler, because you and I both love him so much that we were.
Have you seen that fucking dude? That dude's fucking great. Fuck.
Green, glow-in-the-dark fucking diver's helmet suit covered in fucking, like, moss and just general fucking seaweed. He just looks so badass, man.
Just ominous, terrifying. You know, like when you see that shit as a kid, you're like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Was that episode 2 or 3 of the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Oh, fuck. You tell me, man.
That's pretty early on. So is that your first one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can do that.
Go ahead. Give me your next 4.
All right. So, I actually got to cut my list down because I have 10.
Well, just do 4, and then that'll be your total 5. Then I'll do 5, and then we'll see where we're at.
Okay. This one's a mouthful, and this is from I want to say like whatever the current was. I think it's What's New Scooby-Doo. It's the Kriegstaff Gig Bot. What the fuck is that? Well, let me explain. It's a Nazi zombie fucking robot.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, isn't that what was that? What were those games for PS3 like Outlook, Outlast? Am I just naming like Windows programs at this point?
I think so. I'm not. I can't remember.
It was Xbox Words. Anyway, Frankenstein's Army. There you go. That's what that shit was like.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like they made a whole movie. Like Stephen King had a whole book. They made a movie about it called Apt Pupil with Ian McKellen. So
that was fucking Stephen King.
Hey, he did the book, and then they did the movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's got dead ass Brad Renfro, right?
Is that Brad Renfro? Yeah, he's in. I think it's one of the guys that's in the Dead Poets Society. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, Ian McKellen's a Nazi criminal, and the kid like discovers who he is and makes him teach him about Nazi stuff. It's pretty intense.
Like
they kill homeless people.
Like the opposite of Scary German Dude from fucking Monster Squad.
Right. All right. What's your number 3 there, buddy?
All right, so this is kind of a cheat, but it's the Neapolitan Technicolored Phantoms. So originally on my list, I have the Green Ghost, because I fucking love the Green Ghost. He's like proto Ghostface from Scream, except he's...
green.
So this is it is a brown, a pink, and a white version, like Neapolitan, like strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla.
Right.
And they haunt the fucking ice cream factory.
Excellent.
I mean, right, man? I think later on there was an orange version. But
is that one of the newer ones?
No, that was like a Scooby-Doo movie one. It's probably with my
There's so many movies like from back in the 70s. I just
have
either missed or forgotten.
The ghost from the Mama Cass episode was the ghost of the ham sandwich. I think that's what it was. It gets her in the end.
Can't do that. Choking on my beard.
I can't see you drinking your beers.
That one went down really hard.
Real smooth.
I love a good Mama Cass joke. Mama Cass, ham sandwich.
I hate Papa does. What are we going to do in the Mouth of Madness, man? That's a good one.
That was another one I was thinking about doing for the birthday, because I just love that movie. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, man.
Do you like the color blue?
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Man, my brother hit me with that about a month ago. We're just chit-chatting, and he just fucking turns to me and just like, do you read Sutter Kane? I'm like, can you shut the fuck up with that right now, please? Thank you.
All right, what's your number 4?
The Spooky Space Kook. Do you remember that motherfucker?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, is that he's got he's like got the skull inside the space helmet, and he talks like this, kinda.
Think of like thick Mars Attack, like those fucking Martians, but inside the dome. It's like if thick ass Mars Attacks had sex with Ghost Rider kind of thing.
Yes.
And he cackles like.
He's all black and red and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's definitely from an older one. I do like that one.
All right, I got one more, right?
Yep, hit me.
Man. So this is a fucking toss-up. All right, it's the Creeper. It's the motherfucking Creeper, and you know goddamn well why.
Well, for starters, that fucking dude is 100% fucking scary. I mean, he basically looks like Frankenstein's monster, which is frightening enough.
With a better wig.
Yes, much better hair for sure. And then they got the great chase scene in that one.
That's right.
What's that song? Come on, sing me a bar.
Oh, you motherfucker! All right. Daydreaming, gee, ain't it grand? Daydreaming, something. I'm in love with an ostrich.
No, I got my head in the sand. I'm in love with an ostrich.
Right. I mean,
that's when they had like the weirdest fucking like psychedelic trippy songs during the chase scenes. It wasn't all just
missed that.
Goofy
you get
songs.
You get a stupid song for like the classic Scooby-Doo gags, like, you know, the fucking hallway gag.
Dude, those are some of my favorites, man. Like this movie's got it like one time, but like that's
it briefly, because I'm just kind of like, you know, watching the movie. I'm like, oh, what tropes are they gonna nail? What boxes are they gonna check? Kind of thing.
You got to have the hallway gag where they run in one door and the monster chases them, then they somehow defy the laws of physics and come out across the hallway at a completely different door.
And then, like, sometimes they're chasing the monster, or, like, two of the monsters, or, like, they'll fucking run into each other. Did they do that in the live-action movie? Because if they didn't, that's a fucking wasted opportunity.
I can't remember, man.
Dude, it's been a minute.
It's the one I've seen the second one more, which I think is on Monster Island, or something similar to that.
I just know Seth Green's in that.
And that's the one that has Scrappy, but that's the one where you get like live action versions of a lot of these ghosts.
Now, I thought Scrappy was just in the first one.
Maybe what? Oh, man, you know what?
And it turns out he's Mr. Bean or something.
It's been so long. I really need to go back and give those a watch. They weren't bad by any means.
Yeah, no, they were fun. And then like Cartoon Network started getting out of control with like, oh, here's another TV movie, and then like they had a Daphne and Velma spinoff or something. Whatever.
They've done that a couple times. Like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo have Scrappy, Shaggy,
and that little
Daphne,
Mexican kid.
And then like he's like a thief, like a lockpick or something like that. Like Velma and Freddy aren't in it. There's no.
Whoa! Are you saying all Mexican kids are fucking lockpicks?
No, that's like how they run into him. He's like a thief or something.
Hitler.
Fuck
no,
you. All right.
He's just shitty. I didn't like that kid. And like, how are you? You know, fuck that. You need Vincent Price along on your fucking adventures. I get it. He was like kind of like their Nick Fury or whatever. Like, oh, go get this ghost that I don't know. That's my really good Vincent Price.
My nephew Cody.
My nephew Cody. What is that gag from The Simpsons? Something like
Vincent Price
egg painting kit?
Yeah, and they're missing a piece, so they gotta call the 1-800 number.
That's so fucking stupid. And then, like, he springs the gang from the Super Bowl or something?
No. Who gets them out of the Super Bowl? I forget who gets them out of the Super Bowl.
It's got to be Flanders.
But I think it is Flanders. But the rest of them, he shows up at the end in, like, a big van. Almost like an ice cream man van. With Cody driving, and he drops off the piece to Mars, like knocks on the door, and it's fucking super creepy. And I think he was dead by then, right?
Yeah, Vincent Price had been in the ground for a couple of years, so that was like Dan Castellaneta doing a fucking...
Which was like part of the joke, because it's like call the 1-800 number, and then fucking Vincent Price shows up, even though he's been dead. And the game, like the AP kid was like from the 70s.
I think Vincent Price had like a shrunken head kit back in the 70s. Like you get an apple... It's kind of like Mr. Potato Head or some shit. I don't know. That's worth a trip to the Google right there. My friend.
Hey, man, you used to be able to order a lot of different stuff through the mail. Comic books and magazines used to be able to order, like, capuchin monkeys, like actual live monkeys, not like the stupid sea monkey shit. Like, an actual fucking monkey would show up for, like, $20 at your house. Guaranteed
and a
alive.
wife. Yeah, how's that return policy work? Like, you just fucking put it back on your front porch. Next day, the mailman shows up and be like, No, motherfucker. You said this thing was going to arrive alive.
Apparently, it's been responsible for, like, just tens of thousands of those fucking, like, capuchin monkeys and other monkeys that have been released in the wild here in North America that those fucking things live forever. Like, the one from Friends, that one is still alive. It was just on TV, like, a year ago. So, like, you can run into those things. I'm sure a lot of them have been captured, brought into, like, private reserves or even zoos and stuff like that. But apparently, according to some people, they're still out there.
Buddy, I think that's the monkey from Ace Ventura as well.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. That is a capuchin.
Maurice Spike. Or some... It was... No, I mean on Friends, that show I don't watch.
Marcel on Friends.
Marcel, thank you. I only watched the season when he was there because I'm a sucker for monkeys and chimpanzees and apes and shit like that.
It's like season 1 and 2, I think.
Why couldn't a Congo been a comedy? I mean, it kind of is. The fucking apes are jumping into lava and Bruce Campbell's shooting lasers at motherfuckers.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Wow, how long did it take for us to get that fucking off topic?
Right? So we're going to get back on this. I'm going to do my first 5 here. And
let me go get some memory tonic from the fridge over here real quick.
All right, hurry up.
I mean, I'm fucking 2 feet from there. I'm in earshot.
So my very first one is going to be Charlie, the Funland robot from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yeah.
I love that fucking thing, dude. It's like lifeless face and like dead eyes. Basically, you can use the same, like, you know, sentence to describe Jaws.
I feel like you're talking about me.
But it fucking creepily power walks while it chases after the gang, which is...
You know what?
It fucking moves is odd.
All right, say those words to describe Charlie again.
Creepy, power walking, lifeless face, and dead eyes.
Okay, so like Sandra Bullock from fucking Bird Box. I don't know what she did to her face, dude, but okay, anyway. No, that was... You know what? That's the only time in like the OG series it's not a dude in a suit.
Yeah, it's just a rambunctious robot that like just had its wires crossed or some shit.
A rambunctious robot.
The robot. Next up, I've got the Phantom of Vasquez Castle, also from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? That's like one of the early episodes.
Dog catching episode?
So this is the one where it's like you see this in the intro to the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It's the fucking ghost that just looks like a white sheet floating in midair with 2 eye holes cut out.
Oh.
So it's not like, that's not really creepy, but the way this motherfucker would like cackle and it would like reverberate around the fucking castle was very scary. And then like, it was never explained how it could also walk through walls and pass through solid objects.
It's a hologram, dude. Come on, get your shit together.
So, that one for sure was always pretty creepy to me. And then next up is the Headless Spectre from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to specify because Scooby-Doo. I went through like the fucking checklist. There's like 7 headless characters.
And there's actually a couple specters. So, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? This is the one that looks like he's like 18th century Victorian outfit, right, with no head, which is enough. Already to kind of, you know, like throw you up and like, this is kind of fucking creepy. But they got a haunted mansion setting, which I love, right? That's my 2 favorite ones is fucking haunted castles and haunted mansions. Bread and butter. Right? Like, that's just nonstop FUN.
Shit, I forgot to say it was on my list. Ghostface Killer. I mean, he's just terrifying.
The ghost also fucking plays mind games with them, like it does the fucking floating candles, and there's like a picture of a man floating, and he fucking makes the head disappear on it. Like, it's fucking terrifying for sure. Next up, one of my favorites is hands down the 10,000 volt ghost.
No shit, man. Yeah,
from the Scooby-Doo show. I love this thing. First off, like, he's basically walking electricity. He's like Proteus from fucking X-Men, essentially. He's just energy. And he can melt metal just by touching it. Not like Zax from the Hulk. Yeah, it's pretty intense, like a power set, if you will. And then on top of it, you get a change of that classic Scooby-Doo gag we were talking earlier. Like, instead of running down the halls and fucking disappearing through doors, Scooby and Shaggy hide in a bunch of filing cabinets. And the fucking 10,000 volt ghost is like pulling up in one cabinet, and Scooby are not at the bottom, and they fucking pulls that one open. Now they're at the fucking top, like, and then he dives in. Like, that's just fucking fun to me, dude. That shit cracks me up. I laugh every time. I don't care how old I'm gonna get. Like, that's just fucking funny, dude. And
I like
they just, like, change it up.
I like how both of us went for esoteric fucking Marvel characters. You said Proteus. I said Zax. Nobody knows who the fuck that is. We should have gone for the obvious. Electro.
Right?
Anyway. Nerd flex.
And then the last one is the cheese monster from A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. So
he's on my lists.
I wouldn't say that he's... So these are in no particular order. I definitely have some that I would like more, but I wanted to mention A Pup Named Scooby-Doo because I like that show for... It's very fun. And, like, this ghost, one, it always made me fucking hungry because he's made out of cheese, right? Like, that's fun. Scooby, like, literally eats his costume at the end because he's made of cheese. So that's badass. Like, he eats half of it, and then he runs away with just the fucking cheese head on and, like, boxer shorts. And then later on he eats the rest of it.
It have comical hearts on it.
But they're, like, constantly eating the evidence, and Velma's getting all pissed. Like, he's haunting the Scooby Snacks factory. And then this has, like Pup Named Scooby-Doo, like, they used to do this in the Scooby-Doo Where Are You and stuff like that. I remember the Tarman episode where, like, Shaggy and Scooby tricked the Tarman into, like, they walk into a room and, like, oh, you're at a photo session. We're, you know, taking your picture. We're,
you
we're
know
agents.
what I call that?
What?
Stoner balls.
Yeah.
When they just get so fucking ripped out, then they're
just like,
I guess they're tired of getting scared, so then they start fucking with the monster. It's kind of like when Bugs Bunny, it's very Bugs Bunny-ish, like when he has Gosmer, you know, the giant orange hair monster, and it's like, monsters are such interesting people, and then like giving him a fucking manicure, and then like dips his fingers in the water and it's mouse traps.
Yep.
No? Okay, well, thank you.
So, in this one particular is one of my favorite gags because they trick the cheese monster into walking into a room and they make him think he's at a job interview. So, like, this gag goes on for a while where they're, like, asking him bunch of fucking questions and filling out all kinds of fucking forms. And then the fucking Mystery Inc. gang uses a lunch break as their excuse to fucking run away from it. And the dude's just fucking sitting there chilling until he figures out what's going on. And it just fucking cracks me up every goddamn time, man.
Okay, that's actually pretty funny. That's give you that.
Pretty good. I say let's run down the last of the list real quick. No, not too many explanations. Go ahead and give me the rest of yours, buddy.
All right. Demon Shark. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Is this the one that has arms and legs?
Shark Monster.
Yep.
Right. They can get all man. Green Ghost, because he's a fucking badass.
Dude, yeah.
All right. So this was from newer shit. It was... Demon Farmer, he's like a zombie scarecrow with a fucking sickle for a hand. Or scythe. Kind of on the fence with that.
Yeah, they had a couple scarecrows.
All right, they did. All right, this guy's badass. I think he's from the OG shit. It's Ghost of Dr. Coffin, which, if we're looking for...
I have that one on here.
Okay, well, because he reminds me of Jeffy Combs from fucking House on Haunted Hill.
He's a fucking ghost of a mad doctor. He haunts a psychiatric hospital. He has the orderlies fucking pushing out dead bodies in the episode. And this is like the 70s for kids. Turns out on the gurneys, though, like under the sheets, it's not bodies, it's just gold. But yeah, dude, that dude, whoa.
All right, and then there's this one, it's this fucking like Chinese ghost dude. He sucks, but he has these two minions called the Scare Pair. So if you... You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's fucking shitty, but the Scare Pair's ball to the walls, dude.
Because if you take them and you fucking flip him on the Green Ghost, boom, you got motherfucking Ghostface.
Yeah, because those dudes straight up look like Ghostface, I was just going to say.
Yeah. That's it for my list of champions.
So I also had the Ghost of Dr. Coffin, same reasons. I also have Ghost Clown.
Oh, straight up, dude.
Early one, dude. Like, he hypnotizes the gang and he fucking throws giant darts at them.
Way to be streets ahead with the fucking, killer clown shit from the 70s.
Yeah. And that's one where, like, his eyes look truly fucking terrifying.
He makes John Wayne Gacy.
Spectre of Ebenezer Crab. That's a 70s one from the Scooby-Doo show. He looks like a vampire. Right. He haunts a construction site. It sounds kind of lame, but, like, he tries to fucking push people off, like, 40-floor high-rises. Like, he's actually adamantly trying to commit murder in this episode.
That's a dick move. He looks like fucking Barnabas Collins from Dark Shadows.
Dude, exactly like him. You're fucking
I don't
not
think,
wrong.
Except he's green. I don't think that's an accident.
Then you've got the Phantom of Milo Booth. The reason this one always stuck out is because the name of the episode is called the Chiller Driller Movie Thriller. And he's basically the ghost of a character from an old movie. This also has Scooby-Dum and Scooby-Dee in it, in her only appearance.
Scooby-Dum's my shit.
Scooby-Dee was the female Scooby, who was a movie star. And
dude, I kind of want to fuck Scooby-Doo.
The last one I just thought was fucking super
no,
terrifying.
I didn't. That's weird.
You're fucking weird. Is No Face. So he has no fucking face, right? He's just blank fucking canvas. He can't talk. He just mumbles and grunts the whole fucking time. And it's just like...
So it's like Madonna from... Nah, she could talk.
So she... Yeah, because she could talk. It looks like that, though, right? But he's wearing like a purple robe. It's just fucking terrifying, dude, because he just doesn't say shit. But that's what I got. I think you got some shitty villains, right?
Yeah, I got a list of fucking straight up duds. You're gonna get sad because some of your fucking champions were on here. All right, Jaguaro, a gorilla with a jaguar head. The only time I accept anything with a jaguar head than an actual jaguar is King and Armor King from Tekken.
Thank you.
All right, the Phantom. It's a dude in a fucking sheet. Are you afraid of peanuts? Because that's what they dressed up as. Cheese Monster. I'm not going to say anything. You already did.
Fuck you.
All right, here we go. Another pup named Scooby-Doo, I'm pretty sure. Headless Skateboarder. All right, strap in. It gets better. Chickenstein.
Which one was the one that was Red Herring?
I think... Fuck, you tell me, man. That's your show.
So I can't remember that episode, but that's my favorite fucking, gag. Because every episode, fucking Freddy always claims that it's this bully named Red Herring, which is clever because it's like, oh, a red herring. And then there's one episode where he fucking never does, and it turns out that it's actually Red Herring.
This is true.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just love pup named Scooby-Doo. I know you hate it.
No, you're good. I was just trying not to spill my beer. All right. The Dinklybot 9000. Velma makes a robot for her grade school science fair. It goes bonkers. Okay. Bullshit robot. The Haunted Heifer. I don't even think I need to go into that. Oh, strap in. You're going to fucking love this. Rude Boy and the Ska-tastics. A zombie ska band. Also, get it up, get it up, get it up, get it up. That's a callback from the other night. You look like you're in a fucking ska band. Not just Mick Werewolf has left the chat. All right, and the creme de la creme, the fucking pizza possum.
That's a lot of pup named Scooby-Doo ones.
Boy, what a funny coincidence. Huh.
Fuck you, dude. I'm not saying that show's bulletproof, but it's a lot more fun than 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Or it's always better than most of the ones that star Shaggy, like Scooby and the Ghoul School, or I like Reluctant Werewolf, but a lot of those sucked.
Those are different because those are standalone movies.
Ghoul School was its own show, wasn't it?
No, that was a standalone movie. There were 3 TV movies there: Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, and the third one it might be 2. I'm pretty sure it's 3, but the third one slips my memory right now.
So I know that people you don't like Reluctant Werewolf, and it's definitely not a great. I don't like any of those because they're not good Scooby-Doo stories. But the Reluctant Werewolf's funny because it's basically like Mario Kart with horror movie characters, and you get these twin fucking humpback fucking villains, the Hunch Bunch, that are just fucking hilarious.
Oh shit, they're called the Hunch Bunch.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking great because the one can talk and he's super he has a monocle and he's just very uptight, and the other one just fucking grunts and growls. He's like Ed, the hyena from Lion King.
Right.
But all right, so moving on. We've fucking wasted 35 minutes of the episode, probably right about now. But you know what? It's worth it because I fucking love talking about Scooby-Doo.
What do you mean we've given people amazing content?
Right? So where or when...
Stuck in their too.
I'm going to fuck you in the mouth. If you interrupt me again, I'm going to come over there and break quarantine, and then I'm going to break your teeth with my dick.
Oh, I thought you were going to say break tonsils, but that's all right.
I'm going to break throats.
I'll have 2 turds right by my door, so when you open the door, it's like fucking Return of the Jedi with those logs on the fucking ad. Or the AT&T. What Dookie logs.
Slipping on turds. My 4-year-old tried to kill his mom tonight. He spread a bunch of shampoo on the floor of the bathroom. And thank God I walked in there first because she just fell. Her big fucking pregnant ass and fell straight back and hit her head in the sink.
That's homicide for 2.
Yeah, right? What up? The good son? So when or where was the first time you saw this movie? Nachos, go.
All right, when did I see this? It was either the beginning of 8th grade or freshman year. TBS started rerunning, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Before school on the weekdays. So naturally, I'd wake up, get all my stuff ready, eat breakfast, iron my clothes. Yeah, I was a weird fucking kid. And I would try to watch both episodes before we had to be in the car kind of thing.
Right.
So I feel like these reruns led to some kind of Scooby-Doo resurgence in the mid-early 90s, which was nice because, that's when a lot of us were starting to get into horror and stuff like that.
So this was late 90s when it came out.
Yeah, late mid-90s. Anyway, cut to that. So me and a few buddies and I were smoking some jazz cabbage like we did. School let out, so we watched like Powerpuff Girls. Devil's Lettuce. We'd, fucking get ripped and watch Ed, Edd and Eddy or the Powerpuff Girls or Cow and Chicken or whatever the fuck was going on. And I saw a TV spot for it, like in the middle of that. And so he was like, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And I was like, what? New Scooby-Doo? And like the whole big thing was like, guess what, pussy? We got real monsters this time. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? That was my shit. But then I kind of remembered, like, the Reluctant Werewolf and the Ghoul School shit like that.
13 Ghosts that had real, yeah.
And then I'm just like, pretty much anything where Shaggy's in a pink shirt, I'm out.
It's like Pink Shirt Lupin.
Exactly, Pink Suit Lupin. Fucking let's never talk about that. All right. So anyway, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island looked really good. It was kind of stupid that it wasn't theatrically released.
It was direct-to-video.
I get what they did, and I think because of the success of that, that's how we ended up with the 2 live-action movies and like a shit ton of straight-to-video, cartoons. Cartoon movies, because they're still making these. They didn't stop.
No, they're still going. And you are 100% correct. I think this is when Warner Brothers took over. So, October 98, my mom brought this home. She worked at Sam's Club in the optician department. And, it's a straight-to-video release. And she brought it home for me and my little brother to watch. And I fell in love, dude. That was like 8th grade for me when this came out. And I just fucking couldn't get enough of it. And like it was highly successful. And it started basically a whole Scooby-Doo resurgence where you got a bunch of direct-to-video stuff. You even got new stuff on the WB a couple years later, like a show that had like a season or 2. I think they did like 2 or 3.
Well, you know what? While we're here, I want to address this before I forget. So they were doing, I think right around this time, Cartoon Network started doing, this was like before Adult Swim. So, the closest thing you had was Space Ghost and shit. Mm-hmm. So like, me and my dad would watch Space Ghost kind of shit. So, like, before that, they did a parody of the Blair Witch. But it's Scooby-Doo. Do you remember this?
I do. I fucking do.
Dude, that was really cool. And,
that's, and I don't think I've ever seen that released on anything.
No, because they did another one, too, where it was like, they did one where it's Blair Witch, like, they start out and it ends up like, so what they do is they take like, new animation and then they like insert it into live action scenes and stuff.
Didn't they interview them too? Interviews like VH1's Behind the Music kind of thing?
Exactly, dude. And it was fucking dope because like you started to learn a lot about this shit. Like they came from Coolsville, which they always, I'd like take Scooby-Doo pretty fucking seriously, or at least I did. That's Scooby-Doo, Where Are You era kind of thing. I used to, for creative writing, like write really bad Scooby-Doo fanfic. And if it was the era of DeviantArt, you bet your ass it would have been up there.
If we ever get a real Patreon, we're auctioning those off.
Oh man, no, I burnt those notebooks.
To stay warm.
No, to fucking smart. But anyway, so I think that's what kind of led to this further satirical, kind of tongue-in-cheek Scooby-Doo shit. All right, I'm sorry. I believe you're up.
So like, as I said, 98 from my mom. But before we get started, I want to tell everybody that this is not a video nasty. This is not on our Hello Nasty list. Obviously, it's fucking Scooby-Doo. And it's from 98, so it's way after that list ever was created. Directed by Jim Stenstrom. Sounds like a fake name. I couldn't find anything about him, but apparently he directed this. And I've always been curious about how you direct a full animated feature, whatever it may be, right? A cartoon and things like that. Like, what do you do? Like, do you cut certain cells out to like make things fit better? Like, how does that work?
I think that's the editor's gig. But you know what? If you're putting forth the money to like produce an animated feature, then yeah, there's not going to be deleted scenes because that shit costs money to animate. So.
I guess the director just reviews the daily or weekly animations and then decides if they're up to snuff or not. You know, like as you would do with like reviewing the scenes and saying, no,
honestly,
go back.
I think a key component of it would be storyboarding.
Making sure that the vision's being done properly.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, that's what storyboards are, you know, comic books for
movies.
You know what? Let's spaz about this later.
Sure. All right,
spaz
so
about fair.
Let's meet our casualties here. So, obviously, with this being a animated feature, all these folks are mostly voice actors. We've got a couple of real-life actors.
Tongue, they're real.
For sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not real actors or that they don't even work hard.
No, I'm not talking that. I mean, just because they're cartoons doesn't mean they're not real.
I gotcha. Okay. But this is fun. So, it's just like, instead of me saying like where you can find these other people in like other live-action movies, this is like where you can find their other voice work. So the first one I got up is Scott Innes, who played Scooby-Doo. I couldn't find anything on him.
No, he didn't. That would Frank Welker. Welker did Scooby in this.
Scott Innes is credited in the credits.
That's weird.
Yep. Next up, Billy West plays Norville Shaggy Rogers. So if you didn't know that Shaggy's first name was Norville, his last name was Rogers. You might know him as the voice of Fry from Futurama, among other classic voices. And I was going to leave Nachos to this one because I know he loves Billy West, even though it sounds like a big fake name.
Dude, Billy West is in everything. He's Ren and Stimpy, he's Fry, he's Roger Klotz, he's the fucking Cheerio Bee. God damn, dude. What else? I'm drawing a blank now, but I mean...
He's got a big portfolio. I didn't list it because I figured you'd know it.
He's like every other voice on Futurama. What did I just watch with something? Well, he was just in that shit. I'm not talking...
Is he also Bender?
No, that's John DiMaggio.
Okay.
But he's Zoidberg. He's the professor. He's... Damn, I haven't seen Futurama in a minute. I'm kind of slipping.
Well, it's always good to go back, man. It's one of those ones I can always rewatch.
Yeah, let's rewatch Jurassic Bark.
Season 3. So we've got Mary Kay Bergman, who voiced Daphne Blake. Her biggest claim to fame up until she passed away suddenly was that she was the voice of most of the female cast from South Park. So I can't say the original South Park.
She was the mayor.
But she was the moms, the little girls. Like, she was all of them. Hit the mic. For a long time, she was all of the female cast.
That's right.
We've also got, this is an OG one right here, Frank Welker, who played Fred Jones. So he was
everything.
He was the voice of Freddy and everything up to this point. And
he's still Freddy.
Is he still?
Yeah, motherfucker's like 70 or whatever, and he's still Freddy.
Well,
he also does
I got
Scooby-Doo now.
He's also Megatron.
Yes, he is.
And Soundwave, among other Transformers, both Decepticons and Autobots in the Transformers TV show and the movie, as well as Wheelie from the Transformers the movie. We've got... go ahead.
He's Nibbler. He's Nibbler.
Is he? He had a big portfolio. A lot of these people have, like, usually voice actors have a ton of shit, and I just don't have the page space for all that.
Slimers from the Real Ghostbusters cartoon show. Pretty much anytime you hear somebody like, blah, 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 that's usually Frank Welker. Or
pretty
like
sure he was in Extreme Ghostbusters as well.
Yeah, probably.
So you got
Universal.
You got B.J. Ward, who played Velma. She is the voice of Scarlet from the G.I. Joe animated TV series. And she actually voiced Violet Gray from the Peanuts.
Is that fucking Charlie Brown's girlfriend or something?
No, Violet. Okay, so you remember, I'm drawing a blank here, and I should kick.
Was she the chick always hanging out by Schroeder's piano?
She's Lucy's. She's Lucy's friend who pretty much looks just like Lucy, and she's like extra shitty to Charlie Brown all the time. She, in the Christmas special, she says that of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you're the Charlie Browniest.
No, go kill yourself.
She's
goddamn. Why is everybody so terrible to fucking Charlie Brown? That motherfucker is 8 years old and bald and has panic attacks like every day.
Right?
That dude's got it rough. Just be good to Charlie Brown.
No shit. Even the dog gives him shit sometimes. So come on, Snoopy. Like,
right? Fuck off.
Lay off. Who you fucking showing off for? The Red Baron? Knock it off.
That fucking Red Baron.
So this one, hey, horror movie actress right here, Adrienne Barbeau. She plays Simone Lenoir.
I'm never going to be able to say her name right in this.
It looks like Lenore. But
that's what I had.
French, it's Lenoir. Obviously, she's fucking from Escape from New York. She's in The Fog. She's in Swamp Thing, Creepshow, Two Evil Eyes. Pretty much anything that had to deal with her ex-husband at the time, John Carpenter.
Yeah, she's dope.
Then you've got Tara Strong, who plays Lena.
No
Dupree. Shit. She's out there winning Big Eyes contest, as well as Big Tits.
Big fake tits.
Whew, dude, she's so hot. She's the voice of Dill Pickles from Rugrats, Batgirl from the new Batman animated series. She's Bubbles in Powerpuff Girls. She's Timmy Turner in The Fairly Odd Parents.
I fucking love that.
She's got a huge rack and a even bigger fucking portfolio. And she knows she does.
She plays
she's
fucking Toot from Drawn Together.
No, does she really?
The old racist dude. She plays like half the cast of that. She's Princess. The super racist bitch.
My octopus wa.
Shit, dude. She's in fucking Senior Trip. She's the stoner chick talking to Hawkeye about if Freddy has nightmares, or if Jason has nightmares, can Freddy invade them?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Some deep cuts.
She's good looking.
Dude, my roommate busted my chops. I didn't know for the longest time fucking Jeremy Renner was like, in Senior Trip, and then he's like, lead character. He's like, that's Hawkeye. I'm like, fuck you. And then I watched it. I was like, fuck me.
I like Senior Trip.
I fucking love Senior Trip. It's so stupid. It's got old boy who played Rosie in Blade is the big fat Polish dude.
Yep, you ain't wrong.
Ain't that bonkers?
We've also got Cam Clark, who plays Detective Bo Neville. So this one, everybody should fucking know. He's both the voice of Leonardo.
Yep.
And Rocksteady. Now, granted, those two don't sound alike, but his Leonardo voice is the same as his Bo voice, and they pretty much his regular voice in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series. This one is fun to find. He's also in the English dub of Akira. He is Canada. Shotaro Canada. Canada. Dude, fuck you, dude. They say it both ways in the goddamn fucking movie. He's also famously, for anybody who doesn't watch cartoons, he's Liquid Snake.
Is he Roy Campbell?
He's Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
I mean, okay, I had to make sure. I mean,
I like how you had it wrong, but you're busting my chops.
You know what I'm talking about? He is fucking Campbell. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No spoilers, no spoilers.
No, is he Campbell? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was fucking busting whose balls now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. Happy birthday, bitch.
We've got Jim Cummings, who plays Jacques.
Dude, seriously, if you don't know Jim Cummings, get the fuck out of here. He's
a lot of
Winnie
fun stuff.
The Pooh.
He's Winnie the fucking Pooh. He's Leatherhead and Genghis Frog.
Psycho.
In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Psycho. I got this one just for you. I pulled this one just for you. He is the voice of Bullet Number 2 in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I already know what voice. It's the drunk one.
Yeah. Well, Eddie Value, where you been?
At the bottom of a bottle or something like that.
I fucking love that scene, dude. Have you ever noticed that it's, do you know who gave him that gun?
Yosemite Sam.
Yep, it says, thanks for getting me out of the who's a what's it's or something like that.
Dude, that movie is a fucking masterpiece.
I fucking love that movie, dude. I never caught that until years later, probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's like, oh shit, there's a fucking... Like, you had to get like a better version of the VHS version to see the plaque.
Yeah,
like,
it's got that little plaque.
It's like, damn, Yosemite Sam gave him that gun. That's dope.
Man.
I love that fucking movie.
I love that movie.
So next up, I never heard of this guy before. He is Mark Hamill, plays Snakebite Scruggs.
Oh, dude, isn't he, he's like that fucking nobody in Star Trek, right?
Yeah, he's the guy with the dad issues.
Dude, and he plays the Riddler, like in one episode of that fucking piece of shit 90s Superman show or
I think
whatever.
he's the Green Goblin, right, in Spider-Man?
Yeah. Dude.
Exactly. If you fucking don't know who this guy is and his famous acting, get the fuck off.
Go fuck
Just
yourself.
delete this fucking episode.
Actually download this episode. Tell all your friends to, but go hit the bricks. Put an egg in your shoe and fucking beat it.
Right? He's the fucking Hobgoblin Spider-Man animated series. He is fucking Luke Skywalker in all Star Wars. He is motherfucking the Joker in almost every Batman animated feature ever up until they did Arkham City stuff. And he was the Joker in there, but then I think he dipped after the first or second one.
He's also skips from regular show.
He's got a lot of shit on
that motherfucker's in everything. And you always know when you hear, you're like, is that Mark Hamill? Oh, he was also new Chucky.
But yeah, he was the voice of Buddy in the new Chucky movie. But I will say in this one, Snakebite Scruggs, unless you told me that was Mark Hamill, I would not have known. Because there are many, like the Hobgoblin and the Joker, and quite a bit that he does that sound very familiar and similar to each other. Yeah. This one did not. This was very Bayou, in the South. Like, it was very gruff, and I did not recognize him at all. And I was trying to pick them out when I first watched it, and I just couldn't. I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
The first watch through, I was just kind of like, so the introduction, of I had him as Bayou Bill or Gator Gary or whatever, and then I was like, wait a minute, and I was waiting for some more dialogue. I'm like, that's fucking Mark Hamill. That's Cockknocker.
Funny story, actually.
Bam! Avenge me, Hip Night!
Last two on the list here is Jennifer Lee Warren plays Chris, a talk show host. I couldn't find anything on her. It says she was famous for voice acting, but I couldn't find anything about her at all. But I know she did a lot of musical stuff, so not really anything that I'm familiar with. And the last one is Ed Gilbert, who plays Mr. Beeman. He's in like a scene and has like 2 lines of dialogue. But he was the voice of Baloo in the Tailspin, in the Disney's Tailspin TV show.
Tailspin was a fucking weird show.
That's one of my wife's favorite ones. I enjoyed it. I was more of a Quack Pack, DuckTales kind of guy.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh,
Rescue
my
Rangers,
God,
Darkwing Duck.
Goof Troop. Give me fucking Goof Troop.
Dude, Goof Troop, for sure. All day long.
So the dude that made the Goof Troop video game made fucking Resident Evil?
Capcom.
Yep. All right. Let's not. Anyway.
Don't pull at that thread. So released in September of 1998. This was. It came up against plenty of pretty good movies at the time. So same in '98, we had H2O, we had The Faculty, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, John Carpenter's Vampires, Strange Land, Deep Rising, Shrieker, which was the Full Moon movie. The Dentist 2, and Blade.
I love Blade.
Blade's badass. So, how to watch? Not many options here. You can get on VHS. There are 2 DVDs, including a single standalone disc, and then a double feature with Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. I don't recommend watching that one. But you can get it. And then it's also how we watch it. It's streaming on Netflix right now. It seems to constantly be on Netflix. They've got a lot of the WB stuff on there, so you can definitely check that out.
I'm all right with that. Thanks, Netflix.
All right, on that note, we're going to take a quick pee break, and then we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. This is Vincent DeSanti, director of the Friday the 13th fan film Never Hike Alone, and you are listening to the Here Comes the Spooky podcast.
All right, and now we're back, and you just heard from our sponsor, a little promo we got. So,
oh my God. Who was it?
Right? Vincent DeSanti from fucking Never Hike Alone. Much appreciated there, Vinny, for sure. So we took a little pee break, a little smoke break, and now we're ready to get started. So you ready to horse around with some maniacs?
Yeah, finally.
No shit, right? All right, so
know the editing of radio magic.
Our movie starts in a dark and stormy night as the Mystery Incorporated gang is investigating the moat monster inside a spooky castle. We get plenty of shots of the castle and their atmosphere, complete with stone gargoyles and plenty of suits of armor, where we finally close in on a door, and a pair of green hands come onto the screen and rip the motherfucker apart to reveal that the gang is hiding inside.
Hey, real talk. When they brought us the intro of the castle, did it not feel like the intro from the fucking Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah, it did.
I was waiting for him to scroll down to the basement and the coffin to pop open and the crypt keeper to do that little weasel laugh. How's that go, Cincinnati Jeff?
Right? No, you're fucking dead on. I actually thought the castle even kind of looked like the one that hangs on the cliff, Dracula's castle in Symphony of the Night.
Ooh, Castle Dracula. All right, go ahead.
So inside, everybody makes like a banana and splits. With the monster chasing down Shaggy first. Shaggy seems to escape initially, but he actually locks himself in a room with the monster in one of the classic Scooby gags, where he locks the door with like 3 or 4 deadbolts, turns around, there's another room in the door that he goes to escape from, and the monster's waiting outside of that door. He then escapes and runs screaming for Scooby-Doo, and we get our Scooby-Doo, where are you? And we get cued into our fucking classic intro music here. And I break that down into the trivia, but it's a fun song, and this movie has a lot of good musical cues for sure. I very much enjoyed it. So in classic Scooby-Doo fashion, we get a solid chase scene, starting with Scooby and Norville crashing into each other, and Scooby then's riding on Shaggy for a bit before they realize that there might be a problem with this scenario and switch places, and then Shaggy's not riding Scooby like a goddamn pony. The monster damn near chases Daphne and Velma off a balcony, where Freddy comes to their fucking rescue at the last minute and catches him before the monster sneaks up behind Fred and ruins his only sweater.
Takes a fucking wipe out of him. That's
right?
Pretty bold for this.
But thankfully, he misses all his vital organs and his groovy ascot. And Scooby comes to his aid in the last minute and falls from the sky, basically, and distracts the monster and gets him to chase him down the stairs, where they accidentally knock over all these suits of armor inside the room, and with a domino-like effect, they all fall around the room and eventually come up and creep behind the monster, and one final suit of armor knocks the monster out. Velma walks up and pulls off the mask to reveal it is, in fact, Mr. Beeman, the real estate agent.
Mr. Beeman? Duh, it's so obvious. He probably did it to cover up that totally legal money printing scheme.
Right. He was printing millions of counterfeit dollars in the basement, and what we thought was mold is actually green ink.
It's actually key from the sticky nugs he was fucking growing. I was going to say, I was a little disappointed in this because our standard Scooby-Doo, we get the elaborate device that either Fred or Velma plans, and then it's usually the monster or Shaggy or Scooby fuck it up. But, right. I mean, we kind of get that a little bit.
This one was just, like, accidental. And, and you get good gags, like you get the hallway running scene, and they're going through the fucking doors and stuff like that. And the monster looks great. Like, your first cue right here is like, this is not the Scooby of old. The animation has definitely been stepped up. The characters are all very similar, right? They're pretty much the same right here. But the animation is just top notch at this point, especially for 98. It looks good.
Is it just me, or did the fucking moat monster kind of look a cross between Man-Thing and the Abomination?
Very much like the Abomination for sure, with like those fin ears and shit.
Right. Gotcha.
So the scene then changes, and it turns out Daphne is on a talk show called Chris, and she was just retelling an old story about the case of the moat monster. The host, Chris, says she is scared easily and that she isn't surprised Daphne gave it all up to become a famous reporter with her own show, Coast to Coast with Daphne Blake. But Daphne says the real reason she changed jobs was because the monsters and ghosts always turned out to be bad guys in masks, and she was just bored with it, and that's why the gang all went their separate ways, except for Daphne and Freddy. Turns out Fred Jones is her producer and one-man crew of her current show. Daphne then tells Chris that she's actually going to do a new segment this year called Haunted America, where they will be looking for real haunted houses and ghosts, and they'll just be traveling across the country doing so. Chris says that it's too bad that the rest of the gang won't be joining and coming along. Daphne says that she does miss them a lot and appears to be a little sad, but this gives Freddy an idea, and he decides to call them all up.
So, real quick, so Daphne was ahead of the game with this ghost hunter bullshit.
I didn't have too much cable at the time, so I can't tell you how many ghost hunter shows were out there or if there were any. I know that they're all bullshit.
I mean, they didn't hit till the early thousands. As much as I love Ghost Adventures, well, at least the first season, dude, that shit's all garbage.
Yeah, it's total crap. What I like now, my wife really likes the like the Flip or Flop and stuff like that on the. I forget what network that is.
What's Flip or Flop? How's that work?
It's like all these shows about like, let's buy this house and let's see if we can turn it for a profit. Or the Property Brothers, where they help people buy homes and then see if they can help renovate them to their near perfect vision while staying in their budget. There's a ton of these fucking shows on HGTV. That's what it is. But there is one out there that I don't think it's on HGTV, but I think they flip murder houses.
Oh, shit, dude.
So that sounds kind of cool. I've only read about it. I've never seen an episode, but I have seen it advertised, so I'm hoping that it is something that's actually been around for a while.
There's a fucking premise for a horror... Oh, that's the plot for Sinister. What am I talking about?
Right?
Anyway, go ahead. I'll let you continue, because I'm just notorious at interrupting.
So
first go ahead, though. It's all right.
No, is you cool?
Yeah,
first up... Yeah. So first...
No, go ahead.
You... liquor.
All right, go ahead.
So first up is Shaggy and Scooby, who now have a fantastic job for them. They're working at the airport in customs, looking for contraband food that is being brought into the country illegally.
So they're like NSA agents, right? That's what's going on?
Not quite. They're more like customs agents. So it's a different.
So they're fucking
program.
narcs,
right?
They're flipping the script now. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are narcs.
So they caught the tail end of Daphne's show and heard what she said before their boss gets on their asses for standing around. They head over to luggage, and Scooby uses his snooper siffer to go through some luggage. First, he finds a pair of dirty socks and some underwear before he uncovers some gorgonzola cheese. The two then go to check into the storage room with the rest of the contraband evidence, and they find it completely filled with cured meats and desserts and dairy products of all fucking kind.
Beauty.
Next, we cut over to Dinkley's Mystery Bookshop, where Velma is working. She is on the phone with a customer looking for books for them to pull for an order, and she's clearly bored and uninterested and just despondent and just, I'm done with this shit. After getting off the phone, she was also watching Daphne's interview on the Chris Show. She comments that solving mysteries is a lot more fun than selling them, when suddenly the phone rings and it turns out to be Freddy with some good news inviting her along.
Did you catch... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, what's up?
Did you catch the books the customer was looking for?
They're like like similar titles to some of the earlier stuff, like the Haunted Circus and
Hair Raisers.
Yeah,
that's a nice little nod to Goosebumps there.
Yep, like Mystery at the Camp, got it. Terror at the Haunted Carnival, got it. It's like shit. She's
like, I lived this shit. Fuck.
So back at the airport now, Shaggy's boss walks into the storage room and sees an extremely well-fed customs agent and his dog in that classic fucking ate too much, and now they've like got massive fucking pregnant bellies and shit that like their clothes don't fit anymore.
Right. Like the Ethiopian bellies, yeah.
And he loses his shit about them eating all the contraband. Shaggy corrects him, however, and tells him that they did not eat all of it, and in fact save a couple of gorgonzolas. He, in what is my favorite line in the movie, says, "You're a couple of gorgonzolas," before firing their asses. But then Freddy calls to save the day and invites them along the adventure as well.
You fired. You hired. There you go. You got a belly full of gorgonzola.
You're a fucking couple of gorgonzolas. I love that shit, dude. Chuckle every time. Later at Daphne's house now, Freddy pulls up in the coast-to-coast van and surprises her with the rest of the gang hanging out in the back. Daphne's excited and says it'll be just like old times when right on cue, Velma pulls out a box of Scooby snacks that had apparently gone stale. But hey, that doesn't stop fucking Norville and Scooby from eating them, though.
All right, I gotta call bullshit on a thing real quick. So I was always under the impression that the Mystery Machine was Shaggy's van. Then why the fuck does Fred have it?
Freddy always drives it.
Yeah, but it's because Shaggy and Scooby are too stoned. So go ahead, here's the keys, man. All right, and I think you overlooked this. So when Velma pulls out that fucking box of Scooby snacks, she doesn't know that Shaggy and Scooby are, recovering addicts. So shit gets awkward, but it's a deleted scene cut from the script due to time restraints. Scooby and Shaggy go ass to ass with a giant pink dildo in the front yard called the Girth Worm. And the neighbors are like, "That's disgusting." But so that didn't get cut due to content. That got cut due to time. But you know what movie they actually used that in?
I'm going to go ahead and say Requiem for a Dream.
See, that's what they want you to think. They actually used that scene in Pixar's Cars 2.
Just watched that with my son. I don't recall that scene.
It's in there. You might have left it or something.
I'll have to look out for it. So, all right. So Freddy then tells them that must be in the European cut.
I guess something.
Freddy then tells them they're going to Louisiana to start their trip, so it's the home of some fantastic gourmet cooking. And before they head out, Freddy pulls off the Coast to Coast sticker from the van to reveal the Mystery Inc. logo. Yeah,
I got him.
Got him! We are then treated to another killer tune as we get a montage of the gang checking out ghost sightings and rumors, but they all turn out to be fake, like a haunted crystal ball that's just a ghost on a projector, a giant vampire bat in a cemetery, which looks pretty good, but he's just a grave robber, a ghost of a riverboat captain who's actually just an old tour guide.
Now, hold up. I don't like how you said grave robber. Now, why is it Lara Croft can be a Tomb Raider and everybody gets to praise her? She's a fucking a grave robber. Indiana Jones is a grave robber. I think the only difference is you throw in a couple 100 years in there. That's the difference.
I guess.
Did you notice the casino captain kind of looked like Matt Cordell, the Maniac Cop?
It did look like Robert Zadar.
I'll shut up for a minute. Go ahead.
And then last up, my favorite one, it's both my favorite because it's a little scary and then oddly humorous, is there in Bubba Joe's Crawdad Company, where they are being chased by a giant killer lobster monster. This thing's fucking terrifying and then humorous at the same time just to think of a giant lobster.
Nah, dude, lobsters are creepy.
So they all turn out to be just people in masks. So the gang then stops into New Orleans with Daphne upset about what they found so far. Clearly nothing of it's real. Velma says it's just like the good old days, but Daphne says it's a little too much like the good old days. And she needs a real haunted house. A woman overhears their conversation and introduces herself as Lena Dupree. She says that she is a chef on Moonscar Island and that it is actually really haunted. It's located in a bayou, and that a pirate named Morgan Moonscar died on the island long ago, and his spirit still haunts the place. The gang is a little skeptic at first, but they decide to go along. Velma then looks up the island and any information she could find and confirms that there have been a lot of strange disappearances on the island over the years.
I'm going to jump in here real quick. You know what I appreciated with this new Mystery Machine 2.0? The fucking crime lab they dropped in the back.
Right? So yes, it's like the fucking turtle van.
You're not too far off. All right, go ahead.
So they're going to leave as soon as they find Shaggy and Scooby, and they finish with their fucking 3-foot-tall po' boy.
Yeah, I miss those. God. I love these sandwiches when they do that fucking like that 3 foot, and you got to slam it down like an accordion.
Right, and then it's like fucking like this is a good scene where like fucking like Shaggy puts peppers on his side, and fucking Scooby puts hot sauce on his side, and fucking Scooby vacuums the shit in on his end, so Shaggy gets fucking screwed and gets nothing but bread. And he's like, "Oh, wasn't as filling as I thought it was going to be."
Yeah, Scooby's kind of a dick like that in this movie. I know it's his namesake movie, but
yeah, he gets the best of Shaggy for sure this time around. So they follow Lena down to the docks where they meet a local ferryman named Jacques. Jacques confirms that they will learn soon enough that the island is actually haunted and that many people have gone into the bayou but have never come out. As the gang get ready to cross, Lena sees Scooby and says she did not know they had a dog with her and that her employer, Mrs. Lenoir, keeps cats on the island. Shaggy says it's no big deal and that Scooby's a fan of all animals. He loves cats.
Now, I gotta call some bullshit on this. Okay, straight up, I have in my notes. As soon as I hear the ferry driver, I was like, there's no way in hell if that's not Jim Cummings. I take my voice actors pretty serious. Also, what's with the back-to-back ferries? April Fool's Day, now this. If I didn't know any better, I think one of our hosts has a ferry fetish. What's next? The New York Ripper? The Ring? Can we never do the New York Ripper?
I promise we won't.
All right. Continue.
During their trip, Jacques tells them all about the pirates that used to hide in the bayou. Also about Big Mona, the biggest catfish in the bayou that no one has ever been able to catch. Before Shaggy and Scooby spot Big Mona, we get a classic water-in-the-face gag. As Shaggy says, "That's one catfish who doesn't like dogs." So Scooby tries to take a swipe at him, and they fall overboard into the bayou where the gators move in to eat them.
Yeah, now, it's close. It is close.
Fucking, yeah, like, alright, it's a high-tense situation. So the two try to swim away, but the gators are fucking closing in on them, when suddenly they're cut off by another boat and a local fisherman by the name of Snakebite Scruggs.
A.K.A. Billy Bayou, A.K.A. Alligator Allen, A.K.A. Luke Skywalker.
Shows up with this fucking giant hook and saves them all before hollering at them for scaring Big Mona away. He then introduces Shaggy and Scooby to his hunting pig, Mojo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Mojo.
Before kicking them off the boat and back onto the ferry where they are headed on their merry-ass way. The gang then arrives at the island and follows Lena to the house as Jacques takes off in the ferry. They all arrive at the house, and first thing they notice is that there are just fucking hundreds of cats.
Right.
And Scooby can't help but fucking chase them all. Like, this is too many fucking cats. So he's tearing ass around the fucking yard, and he's fucking up all the flower gardens before he finally directly runs into Mrs. Lenoir. Lena then explains to her why she brought everyone to the island and apologizes for the dog. The gang smooths everything over, Mrs. Lenoir, and tells them that the island is a pepper plantation and some of the hottest peppers in Louisiana actually grow on this island.
Now, did you catch this part when the groundkeeper responds, "Oh, that good-for-nothing dog got his ass under the porch and in the garden acted a damn fool. That's what happened."
I don't recall that.
Oh, well. I feel pretty bad for that gardener. You know, hopefully...
We're going to get to him.
I got to think. You can't see me stepping on your toes because it's under the table. But so that gardener, you know, I feel bad. I mean, like, I hope he gets paid well for odd jobs. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he gets a little cat. Oh, I have a whole bit. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. I'm done with it.
So she also confirms that the house is very haunted by restless spirits, that the gang is allowed to look around and film as much as they want, but they have to do something about the dog. Shaggy suggests the kitchen as a good place to keep him, and she says, sure, why the fuck not? Before they look around. Daphne then apologizes for the flowers, but Lena says it's no big deal and just fucking pours salt all over their local gardener here, Bo. He'll take care of it, and but he does not look so pleased to hear this.
No.
News. And he's like under his breath. He's like, "Yeah, I'll take care of it." So Norville and Scooby then head into the kitchen to try to get some gumbo, and they decide that they want to add some of the local peppers here to the mix, and find out that Mrs. Lenoir was not kidding about the fucking hot peppers. As they later on dare each other to eat a little bit more, a ghostly mist appears in the kitchen and begins to carve the words, "Get out," on the kitchen wall. Their screaming alerts everyone to come check on them, where they see what's happened, and they also obviously see the words too. Daphne then gets very excited and interviews Mrs. Lenoir, who has now introduced herself as Simone, in front of the words before a wind comes in out of nowhere, blows very hard, and interrupts the interview, and suddenly the words "beware" now appear underneath "get out."
All of a sudden, then Velma starts levitating and her eyes wide out, and she starts screaming at the gang that they'll be dead by dawn, and the evil's going to swallow their souls. No, I'm just kidding. That's not right.
But it's close. So Simone tells everyone that the ghosts get more restless as night grows, when Freddy captures Velma levitating in the room, and she confirms that she doesn't notice any wires or magnets before falling to the ground, because Freddy's like, we've been levitated before. There's always a wire or a magnet involved. This and that.
I don't know, man. Magnets, how do they even work?
I don't know. It's a fucking mystery to me.
It's probably a miracle. Whatever.
Later on, they are examining the tape and the footage that they shot when they noticed that after some enhance. They notice the ghost of Morgan Moonscar is actually the one who is carving the words in the wall.
Wait, Morgan Moonscar, isn't he a pirate ghost?
Pirate ghost! Simone shows them a picture in a book and confirms who it actually was. Freddy is still a little skeptical here at this point, but decides, hey, why not? We'll still stay and investigate. Velma then goes back into the kitchen to check out the wall and notices something odd underneath the paint, so she scratches it off with a spatula, which, like, Velma, now it's like a ghost did this, but now you're just causing, like, property damage.
It's straight up, bitch. What I mean, like, you're a guest in this house. You're defacing private property. You need to dial that shit down.
You've essentially been here for, like, 30 minutes at the most.
Right. Did you kind of get some The Fog vibes off this, and you get Adrienne Barbeau?
Dude, right? With the fucking ghost pirate and shit? Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Very much. So, after Velma gets done scratching off all the fucking paint, she finds the word Maelstrom underneath. Simone and Lena obviously get upset at Daphne's or Velma's fucking property destruction, but then they find out that Maelstrom was actually the name of Morgan Moonscar's ships, and that the parts of the ship must have been used to build the house so many years ago.
Rumor has it they also used that they buried treasure on the island.
Exactly. I mean, and Freddy now believes that, like, someone is just there to fucking scare him away from the goddamn treasure.
Right. I love Freddy's mindset throughout this whole thing. He's just like, oh, it's just somebody in a suit. And I mean, up until that point, everything has been. So, Freddy.
Yeah, and, like, it's such a switch because, like, that's normally Velma's fucking job.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I definitely get into it later, but there is a sequel to this where they kind of flip-flop roles. Anyway, meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby are now enjoying a delicious picnic lunch outdoors when Scooby just can't help himself and he starts to chase those fucking cats again.
Like, Scooby, we get it, you're a dog, but also Creole potato salad? I don't even like potato salad, but that fucking sounds good.
Dude, it sounds real fucking good. So, while chasing the cats, they run into Scruggs, and he sends Mojo after him. And then while running away from Mojo, Shaggy and Scooby fall into this massive-ass fucking hole or grave and accidentally uncover a skeleton while they're fucking trying to climb out. As soon as they do, this green energy appears above them, and it brings the skeleton to life and transforms it into the zombie of fucking Morgan Moonscar.
That's right.
They manage to escape, but the zombie is still chasing them for a while when they finally run into Bo, the gardener. Bo doesn't believe their story whatsoever, and then goes to check out the hole that they were in, along with everybody else who's heard their screaming at this point. They do not find anything else, so Velma starts to question Bo instead, and kind of is a little aggressive about it.
Yeah, dude, she's on it. She's sleuthing hard.
Right? Velma is acting a little, obnoxious, but she can kind of tell that fucking Bo's being suspicious. And at this point, like, you're really getting a lot of, like, this is a thirsty Scooby-Doo episode, because, like, Velma and Daphne are like, Bo's so hot, and Freddy's like, oh no, Miss Lena's so good looking. It's like, why doesn't everybody stop and calm down, and let's not act like we haven't been fucking each other for the past 30 years?
I mean, next thing you know, Shaggy's blowing Scooby out in the car, and fucking... Deleted scene.
So Shaggy and Scooby want to get the fuck off the island, but Samo tells them that they cannot leave as it is getting dark and that the fairies don't run at night, so she offers them all rooms at her house. After Lena shows the gang around to all their rooms, Shaggy is getting ready for dinner in a fucking classic gag, goes to open his fucking suitcase, and inside is nothing but green shirts and brown pants. They're all the same. And he's like, oh, I don't know, Scoob, should I dress up for dinner? And then fucking, like, I do a bad Shaggy, by the way. And he fucking holds it to the mirror. It's just the same fucking shirt. It might be a little cleaner, but it's just the same goddamn shirt.
Okay, I got a big chuckle out of that. That made me laugh.
Dude, that was a great one. That was so funny. And so as he's looking at himself in the mirror, a ghost appears and warns them to get away before they run out of the room and straight into Freddy and Simone. Everyone then goes back into Shaggy's room to check out the mirror, and Velma discovers that the mirror actually belonged to Colonel Jackson T. Pettigrew, and that it sounds like he was a Civil War soldier. Simone confirms that the island had, in fact, housed Confederate barracks during the Civil War, but before they invite everybody down to dinner.
Wait, did you catch the part where like Freddy's in his room and he goes to put on the classic ascot and he's like, eh.
Oh shit, yeah, dude, that's great. He's fucking got it held up and he's like, no. Because at this point, the only people that are dressed the same is obviously Scooby, Shaggy, and then Velma. Like Daphne and Freddy are in completely different costumes than they used to wear back in the day.
Same color scheme, they're just going for a more contemporary look.
Right? Yeah, I do like that. It. And also at this point, Velma notices that her glasses cleaning cloth is strangely missing.
Come on, Velma, you got to stay on that shit.
Right? So, excuse me. Simone says that during dinner, Scooby has to eat in the kitchen, where he goes, but notices that the kitchen is filled with rat food. And then he starts to chase the cats again.
Okay, you know what? I've seen fucking Scooby and Shaggy eat the grossest shit, but like cat food where he's drawn the line. Have you met a dog? Have you seen it? What a dog does around cat food?
Ooh, definitely cat shit.
Or cat shit.
So he chases the cats again, and they end up back in the fucking dining room where Simone gets super pissed, and he makes them fucking eat outside and in the back of the mystery machine instead. The cats then now start to harass Scooby, and are like climbing on the fucking van and like teasing him throughout the fucking glass and shit like that. So they decide to drive off somewhere a little bit more peaceful so they can eat. They find a nice spot near the shore of the bayou, and as they decide to eat more peppers for dessert for some reason, they can't handle the fucking heat, and they run straight to the bayou water to drink as much as they fucking can to cool their mouths when suddenly another green energy appears, and zombies start to rise from underwater. And this is super fucking fun, because you had the one zombie at this point, right? Like,
yeah, you
Morgan
get the
Moonscar.
crew.
But this is fucking like Confederate soldiers and Union soldiers, bunch of different pirates, and then other zombies as well, kind of dressed a little bit more modern, start to rise out of the ground and chase after them. And we're talking dozens of fucking zombies here. This isn't just one person in a mask at this point.
No, you got the gang. You get like 1970s tourists and Yankee soldiers and racist soldiers and
So they make it to the mystery machine and try to escape, but get stuck in the mud, so they make a run for it instead, running directly into fucking Bo again, who scares them off. Now back at the house, everyone else is eating dessert when they hear Shaggy and Scooby scream, and Simone warns them, as she did before, that the hauntings are just beginning before everyone decides to go out and look for them. Out on the bayou now, they only run into Bo, who tells them where they can find Shaggy and Scooby. The gang is suspicious of Bo, so they split up. Bo and Velma go one way, while Freddy and Daphne go another.
Let's split up. We can cover more ground.
Right? Bo actually ends up saving Velma's life from some quicksand, where she's like, okay, cool, appreciate it, but I still don't believe a word you said.
Oh, yeah. Because he picks up that giant rock, and it looks like he's about to cave her fucking head in. Yeah. It's like, nope, quicksand.
So, meanwhile, Daphne and Freddy find the mystery machine, but it's empty. While checking it for clues, this is such a great scene, a hand comes out of the bush and grabs Daphne on the shoulder, but she pulls this fucking Krav Maga kung fu move and flips the motherfucker onto the ground.
All right, I want to jump in here real quick. I mean, okay, go ahead for your shtick real quick.
She starts to brag to Freddy, who's like, what was that? And he's like, I can take care of my fucking self, before the two of them realize exactly what it was that she just tossed around.
Right. It's a guy in a suit, obviously.
Right? They're like, this is a gardener. It's the gardener in a rubber mask. When fucking Shaggy and Scooby then now stumble out. And Daphne then tries to fucking take the mask off, but can't. She's like, it feels really real. And he's like, no, you just gotta try harder.
I think this is the creme de la creme.
So fucking, like, Fred gives Shaggy the camera, but he's fucking shivering too bad. He's like, give it to Daphne, you big pussy. Hold it still. He's up there, and he's like, you really gotta take it. He's like, no, it's the gardener. It's the ferryman. And then he says, like, something else, like, that I'd never even heard of before, like a local cop or something. And then he fucking pulls so goddamn hard. The fucking head just separates from the goddamn body. And Daphne just films it all. Just fucking decapitates this motherfucker. Like, solid. Now, granted, at this point, other than the hand through the bush, this thing has not moved. But Now that they fucking pull the head off, they fucking play hot potato with it for a second before it lands in the zombie's lap. Then the zombie comes to life and puts his fucking head back on his shoulders.
It's like, do you mind?
Fucking like twists it on like a cap and gets it straight. Then the green energy shows up again. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
All right, so do you think this was the because remember SMG in the movies is very what's the word I want to use here? Not feminist. Proactive. No, what's the word here? A bad bitch. There we go. A bad bitch. Mm-hmm. Like she's doing taekwondo and fucking people up in the movie. Do you think this was like the predecessor towards that?
I mean, very well could be. I mean, this is the late 90s at this point. She doesn't need a man to come to her rescue. And it was a great scene. I loved it because it was like empowering and then humorous at the same time. It's like, hey,
empowering. That's the fucking word I wanted to use.
So as the green energy then starts to show up and swirl around them, more and more zombies start to raise. This time including pirates, gangsters, and even fucking tourists. You got like mom and dad with like their Hawaiian shirts and like modern day cameras around their neck, like showcasing like, okay, these are just like things from the old days. These like people have been dying here for a while.
Okay, real talk. I swear to God, I thought I saw a 1970s classic era pimp.
So I think that's the gangster.
Or is that the next scene?
I think that's in this one, the gangster. You might have saw like a pimp, but like there was a gangster in like a purple suit and like a gangster style hat, like Dick Tracy.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah.
Could be pimp. I don't know.
And he kept fucking like baby powdering his hands and shit. I mean, I don't know what that's about, but okay.
Somebody gonna get a fresh one. So they also at this time hear Lena scream and head back for her and Simone, realizing they left them at the house all alone. Fred, in his stupidity, trips and drops the camera straight into some quicksand. And they lose all their footage as we are treated to yet another fantastical music number and a montage this time of the gang running away from the zombies.
I think this is the best one.
This is definitely my favorite song.
What time is it?
Oh, it's terror time again.
God, right, bitch.
And this one's really fun because like, you know, like they're fucking running from zombies and they run into crocodiles and then they want to go swing across like part of the bayou and they can't find a vine. So all of a sudden like it looks like Shaggy hands it to Scooby, but it's actually a fucking zombie who gives him the fucking vine. It's just really goofy, dude. And I just love it so much.
Kind of that's a little premonition of what these zombies are about.
Exactly. Right? It is. It's a little hint. So after the chase scene now, Freddy and Daphne run into Bo and Velma, while Shaggy and Scooby find their way into a cave that happened to have some voodoo dolls dressed like Velma, Fred, and Daphne. When they start to play with them, their real-life counterparts come to life and start floating in the air, just like Daphne did in the kitchen, and they start moving uncontrollably, like smacking each other around, you know, like some slapstick fucking Three Stooges style stuff.
And then Chucky runs out and starts breaking the legs and arms and shit, because, you know, you never show your fucking students where you keep your voodoo dolls.
So they're then chased out of the cave by bats, and straight into a group of zombies. Meanwhile, Freddy and the crew are still running back to the house to look for Lena and Simone. Now, while searching the house, they find that the lights don't work and the power is out, and Freddy then stumbles upon a secret staircase in the main hall where Lena and Simone have been hiding from the zombies. Lena is there, but Simone is not. She says that some zombies dragged Simone away, but Velma, kind of looking around a little bit, senses that something is up and wrong with her story.
Dude, Velma's a bad bitch. She's like, oh, what? No.
She's fucking on it. So as Lena leads them further down the passageway, they come across this old wooden door, and inside is a voodoo ritual chamber. Velma then confronts Lena about her whole story when Simone reveals herself and starts to use those same voodoo dolls to attack them. She then ties up the dolls so that all four people, including Bo, cannot move while they explain what's been happening. And then Velma realizes that they've been using pieces of their clothes tied to these wax dolls to use the voodoo magic, including Velma's missing glasses cloth.
Well, I'm glad we got a full story closure on Velma's.
Right? It's actually some smart fucking writing here. Simone explains that she needs to complete a ceremony before the harvest moon sets after midnight, and that her and Leona then turn into these large cat people.
Werecats. Fuck it.
She then tells them that she must drain their life force from each of their victims during the harvest moon to preserve their immortality. We then cut to Shaggy and Scooby, who find Jacques pulling up at the docks. And he says, "Thank God you're here for help. There's some crazy shit going on the island." And he's like, "Oh, you got no idea," as he turns into a massive fucking werecat.
I fucking lost my shit. I know this is a kids' TV fucking, straight to DVD movie. That was scary as fuck. That actually got me. I was like, yeah.
He looks good, too. I mean, he really fucking, werecats out.
He looks like if Uncle Red... No, he looks like when Michael Jackson turned into the werecat, but a way more badass version than that.
It's a solid scene for sure. This is the movie's already been picking up at this point. We're just firing on all cylinders here. And Jacques now chases them back to the house. Simone also begins to rant about how they lived on the island and worship a cat god before Morgan Moonscar and his fucking pirate band came ashore. The pirates then attacked everybody on the island, and this is fucking crazy and kind of
it's pretty dark.
They drove the islanders into the bayou where they were fucking eaten by the crocodiles, and only Lena and Simone survived.
Sir, actually, they're alligators. Crocodiles are not indigenous to that part of the country.
Are you sure?
Dead serious.
All right, I'm gonna believe you. I've been saying crocodiles for a while though, so
sorry.
I mean,
that's why every time you're in New Orleans, they're like gator bites, gator this, gator that. Crocodiles have skinnier snouts, while alligators have broader, bigger snouts.
Okay. I apologize.
No, don't apologize, baby. It's all right.
Okay.
And we're back. You're like, no, I'm just kind of done.
Yeah, I kind of took the wind out of my sails. I've been fucking saying crocodiles this whole time, then you're gonna fucking... The last time I'm going to actually mention this reptile species, you're going to just be like, "No, motherfucker."
Actually, they're amphibious. No, they're reptiles.
Don't they even call them crocodiles in the movie?
I think
gators.
I think you're out by a crocodile mile, homie.
You're a piece of shit. I'm fucking... All right.
This episode's over. Fuck this.
So, everybody's eaten by fucking alligators.
Right.
While Lena and Simone watch as they escaped the pirates. And so what they do is they fucking go to their voodoo ritual chamber, pray to their cat god who cast a curse on the pirates, which actually just turned Lena and Simone into cat monsters who then destroy the pirates. But it was only after they sought their revenge they discovered that they needed to sacrifice victims during the harvest moon to keep them alive. And they've been doing so for years, luring people to the island and all this stuff, which is why you see all these different... clothing styles on these zombies.
That's right, from the eras. Now, do they explain this, or is this just me being me? Do we explain? Do we get why the zombies come back?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep, cool. Moving on.
So Daphne figures out that the zombies and the ghost. Thanks for, cutting me off. We're just trying to warn them. So they kept coming back to warn innocent victims to stay away, which is why they would constantly appear, and that would always give this air of mystery and these ghost stories about the island as there's zombies and ghosts and all this shit, when it's actually them just showing up and trying to warn people and scare innocent people away so that they weren't sacrificed to the cat gods.
Good guy zombies.
Yep. And so now at the same time, while this is all going on, Jacques is outside and he captures Shaggy and Scooby, but the zombies then come to the rescue, just like Daphne was saying. As Simone and Lena are trying to drain the captive's life force, Shaggy and Scooby crash in and knock the two bad guys down, but they get right back up and turn now into massive-ass cat monsters, similar to what fucking Jacques is.
Their final form.
Right? And they chase him around. At the same time, they accidentally kick the voodoo dolls. And this, again, there's a fucking another creepy fucking scene. The voodoo dolls of all four captives too close to this fire where Bo, Freddy, Daphne, and Velma begin to melt. Like, their voodoo dolls are melting, so, they're melting. Their faces
that was creepy.
Start to fucking melt, dude. It's crazy. I'm like, this is a kid's cartoon? I'm seeing fucking human sacrifices and just alligator murders, fucker, and fucking people melting and shit like that. It's crazy. But then they are saved at the last minute as the fucking dolls are then kicked away from the fire. Jacques then shows back up for one final time as Velma has now freed herself because she's one slick bitch. and also now everyone else. She then uses parts of Lena and Simone's clothing when they fucking cat it out, and they make voodoo dolls of them just as they're trying to drain Shaggy and Scooby's life force.
I bet you that's what Casey Kasem looks like now.
Velma and Daphne then use the voodoo dolls to knock the two around for a while, and as they eventually start to close in on our gang, the moon moves out of alignment from the harvest moon, essentially, and that causes Jacques, Lena, and Simone to then basically rapidly age and turn to dust and explode, just like in The Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, dude, and it's, for a kid's fucking movie, dude, this is much.
Right? It's like a reverse of when Morgan Moonscar he turned into the zombie from the skeleton. Like, it grew zombie flesh. Like, that was cool. So, then the zombies then now start to crumble as they are freed from the curse, and everything is all as well on the island. Daphne... What's up?
Peachy Keen.
So Daphne and the gang now say they can't believe what they had just seen and what has just taken place and happened. Especially
believe them.
Without their fucking videotape. Yeah, no one's going to believe them. And that's when Bo reveals himself that he's actually Detective Bo Neville, and he's been working undercover as their gardener to investigate all the island disappearances. Later on, everyone is enjoying the sunrise as they prepare to leave the island when they say goodbye to Bo and interrupt Snakebite Scrubs one last time while he's trying to catch Big Mona before taking off, and then Scooby suddenly notices that they are surrounded by hundreds of cats on the boat with all glowing eyes, and then the screen fades to black. The end.
Hey, did you notice how none of the cats had buttholes?
Like most cats?
No,
fucking put him in your face.
I was gonna say, have you seen Boots? He's like mostly black. I mean, you're seeing that fucking shining pink donut hole coming at you.
Yeah, when I have the lights off and he like runs up or down the stairs, it's just like the underside of a balloon running away from me.
A balloon not escaping.
I'm like, where's that going? Where the fuck is that going?
Oh, did you catch the after credit shit?
Oh no, there was some after credit stuff. I did miss that.
Yeah. No, this is real simple, and it's not some stupid gag. It's Scooby's hanging out, and then like a cat comes up and he pours it like a fucking bowl of milk, and like Ruby Dooby Doo, because we didn't get one of those. Didn't get a Scooby Dooby Doo.
We didn't, did we not?
I mean, that's the end credits though.
So, you want to see a dead body?
Sure.
All right. So there's either, depending on which way you want to take it, there's either too many to count because of the zombies, or it's just the three, which is Lena, Simone, and Jacques. It's hard to say that there's a favorite kill.
You know what? You're the birthday boy, so it's up to you.
Those are the three that only really died. The zombies were already dead.
Yeah.
So
can't count that zombie.
Really counts. It's like not counting all the Deadites in Army of Darkness. It doesn't really
exactly.
Count.
It's a gray area.
I would say favorite kill, either none or those three.
All three.
Yeah. So you ready for some stuff you should know?
Shoot me. Shoot me. Shoot. And also get at me.
So this film marks the first time that someone besides Casey Kasem voices Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo franchise. The reason being, Casey Kasem refused to provide the voice of Shaggy if he would not be a vegetarian on screen like he himself had just became. Shaggy eats crawfish in the movie, plus obviously deli meats and things like that. So instead, Shaggy is voiced by Billy West.
Which I want to say, I think this is the only time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This is the only time that Billy West does the voice.
Okay, and like, man, I hate to say it because I love Billy West so goddamn much. He's not a bad Shaggy, but
there have been better.
Yeah, at that point, I think it's just been Casey Kasem the entire career.
He has, and that's the stick that you measure it by, right? Like that's the line you want to draw. And so, is he a good Casey Kasem impersonator, or is he a bad Casey Kasem impersonator? And Billy West was a fine Shaggy, but there have been many better versions since this one.
I think Matt Lillard. I mean, like Casey Kasem, do or die. Then I go Matt Lillard. And then what they're talking, MacGruber is going to be Shaggy in the new movie, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
You know, I'll I'll gauge that movie after I see it. But
so next up, Glenn Leopold, who was the screenwriter for this film, wrote Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo episodes before this, like The Night of the Ghoul of Wonderland, 20,000 Screams Under the Sea, and The Ransom of Scooby Chief. And this was actually based on Glenn Leopold's unfinished episode for Squat Cats, The Radical Squadron.
Oh my god, I love that show.
The Curse of Cataluna. So, yeah, you got that. And then,
holy shit.
This movie had a pretty rockin' soundtrack, as we've discussed several times, with many of the film's songs being performed by well-known mainstream rock bands at the time, such as Third Eye Blind, performing the Scooby-Doo title song.
Yeah, it had like a weird kind of, not techno, but remix vibe to it.
It was nice. And then you had Sky Cycle, who performed Terror Time again, and The Ghost Is Here.
Now, outside of this movie, can you name me a Sky Cycle song?
I cannot.
Don't worry, I can't either.
So, final thoughts, final cuts. Nachos, you take the lead, sir. What did you like? What didn't you like? And what's your rating?
Okay, so by standards, how I rate things, there was a surprising amount of nudity for being a kid. No, I'm kidding. There's no nudity. There's hardly any gore. It's Scooby fucking Doo. Get over it. This is man. Like, I'm fucking OG Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo, and for once they kind of took it down a different avenue. And actually, I mean, yeah, we have Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts and Reluctant Werewolf and shit where they do encounter things with real monsters, but it doesn't have that same canonical feeling of the old shows kind of thing. This is a fucking 10, hands down. It's 10 boxes of Scooby snacks out of 10. There you go.
There you go. No,
right?
I feel the exact same way. So, I mean, this is what I feel like the first time Mystery Inc. has come across actual ghouls, ghosts, and real spiritual, supernatural things. Because, like you said, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, that's missing 2 key members of Mystery Inc. plus the van.
In a good time, that's what it's missing. I hate to say that about anything Vincent Price is part of. But
he's the best part about it. Not that, like, Casey Kasem or anybody's bad, but it's not great writing. They had 13 episodes. Basically, Scooby opens Pandora's
You almost said that
box.
like Scooby-Doo, motherfucker. It's not great writing.
Fuck you. But this was, like I said, the first time outside of those, or like the Reluctant Werewolf and Ghoul School, which I don't count. Those are Hanna-Barbera movies, especially Reluctant Werewolf, where they introduced like other Hanna-Barbera characters into it. So not a super fan of that. But as far as normal Scooby-Doo goes, this thing I feel like is fucking untouchable. First true story that actually involves dead people. It's got a solid scary story if you think about it, especially with the island settlers being fed to the alligators.
Yeah, that was dark, buddy. That was dark.
As well as like all the other shit that's going on, like the melting faces and stuff like that. Like, that was fucking crazy. The new characters are very fun. Bo is about the only one who's kind of throwaway. He's just there. The climax.
How about Scrubs? How about Gator Time Gary or whatever the fuck his name was?
He's fun because he's just that extra filler, right? He adds a little ambiance to the whole story. Like, does he necessarily need to be there? No, Bo needs to be there, but Bo was very just one direction. He was just
there
for the whole thing.
It was kind of an edgy Scooby-Doo at that point. Like, we hadn't had Scooby-Doo fucking cranked up to that level. I'm not saying it's a 10, on the odometer, but it definitely cranks it up a notch.
No, it does. I can't recommend this movie enough. Like, it's crazy because we invited several of our friends, past guests, just friends in our lives, to do this movie with us, and a lot of people. There was only one person who was like halfway interested. Everybody else was like, "Oh yeah, maybe," because it wasn't what they would consider a true horror movie, and of course it's a cartoon. But man, like, this thing is just fucking. It's just bulletproof, man. 10 out of 10 Scooby snacks, dude. 10 out of fucking 10. I don't think I've given anything a 10 out of 10 yet on this show. I fucking love this movie, man.
I think we both gave Blade 10 out of 10. I'm pretty sure.
We might have, but I'd have to go
also,
back.
1998, too,
Right? So, yeah. And that's what I got. So, Nachos, I think you got one more thing for us before we wrap it up today?
well, do you want to take a smoke break before this? This might be a minute. That's up to you, though.
No, let's just go ahead and power through it.
All right, so in our trying times, we're just trying to figure out this quarantine thing.
Right.
And, well, I want to rattle off some horror movie characters. And you let me. I want you to tell me what you think if these guys are keeping up to snuff. And if they're not, if they are or they aren't, I want to know why. All right. Did I do a good job explaining that? Does that make sense?
So you got 13 horror movie characters, and I'm going to tell you whether they are or are not following the quarantine and why.
All right. Do you think Jason Voorhees is keeping quarantine?
Yes, I do. Number one, he's the easiest one, I would say. I don't know the rest of the list, but I would say that he's got to be the easiest one on here. He's clearly keeping quarantine. He doesn't break ground. The only time he did, obviously, was Freddy versus Jason, and that was with some manipulation. So this guy's always a homebody. So he's just.
I did think of a couple other scenarios where he might have visited a location or whatnot.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure, Vancouver, and then, of course, space. But space wasn't really his fault.
I think
Vancouver's probably the only one where he went out on his own.
Yeah.
So, but I still think that this guy, standard Jason, guarding Crystal Lake, that's what he does. Nope, he's in quarantine.
All right. How about Frederick Krueger?
Other than...
See, I could go either way. Aaron brought a good point to that.
He doesn't necessarily break quarantine, but he does invade people's dreams, but he doesn't come out into the real world, right? There's no diseases in other people's dreams. It's
but he gets in your head, though.
Energy. He does, but in your brain there is no COVID-19. It's all physical and in your lungs and stuff. So unless he's taken over Jesse's body in part 2, I again say that he is simply, just for the rules of his own lore, couldn't possibly be breaking quarantine.
All right, so we got a yep and we got a nope. All right, how about Ashley J. Williams?
Yes, 100%. Ash does his own thing. He plays by no man's rules, and whatever comes at him, he's just going to go ahead and beat it with some fists, a chainsaw, or a shotgun. Next.
All right. How about Herbert West?
Herbert West is a doctor, and of course he is following Fucci's recommendations to stay quarantined. Plus, he's working in his lab, uninterrupted, unimpeded.
Late one night, yeah.
So he's not escaping. Actually, other than being drawn out of his lab for nefarious reasons, he just steadily sticks to himself. So, he's fine. I mean, he didn't even leave the house to bury the cat, so...
He's probably ordering fucking body parts off of Amazon. He's like, no, leave the box on the step. I'll get it. All right. So, how about our old pal Jerry Dandridge?
Oh, Jerry?
Jerry.
Well, with Jerry being a vampire who doesn't need to breathe, yes, not only is he breaking quarantine, but he's luring young women outside of their homes as well and causing them to break quarantine. Again, don't know the rest of the list, but I probably have to say right now he's probably the worst of the worst on here for making others break quarantine.
I mean, yeah, he is definitely getting up in that 6 foot.
Yep, right? What you got? Next.
Uncle Red from fucking Silver Bullet.
Oh, yeah, Uncle Red's another Bruce Campbell type, right? Playing by his own rules. What he's not doing, though, is he's not going around Corey Haim, right? He's got his cousin or his nephew who's got underlying health issues. So he's definitely breaking quarantine and hanging out with whores and drunk bitches and things like that, drinking. But he's not going near his family. So he is breaking quarantine, but he's not putting his loved ones at risk. Directly.
All right, so that's a tie?
No, he's breaking quarantine.
All right. Okay. How about Big Feet from Night of the Demon, the fucking wiener yanking maniac?
Well, yeah, so he's got to get close to yank those wieners, and 2, he's not smart enough to read, write, or understand.
Or arithmetic.
Right, most words in the English language, so yeah, absolutely breaking quarantine.
Yeah, when he's making those chicks stab each other with that fucking knife, yeah, there we go. All right, so he is breaking quarantine.
Quit stabbing yourself.
How about Mick Garris? What do you think? Mick Garris is holding up.
Mick Garris is at home right now filling out applications and writing pilots for things because he needs to keep working. He is staying in quarantine.
I think he's just sending emails to Stephen King like, hey, you got an adaptation I could fuck up? No, I'm just kidding.
We like Mick Garris on this show.
Oh my God, dude, his hair. My God. All right. Do you think Jill Valentine is breaking quarantine? If she can help it.
I would say that no, she's not. She would be at home further investigating Umbrella or Tricell or Neo Umbrella, whatever they're calling themselves these days, and looking into that, which she can do a lot remotely, right? There's a lot of electronic evidence and things like that. She was going over that stuff.
Yeah, 1998.
I believe
My God, 1998 again.
Right? So she's been around for a while, so yeah, she's definitely staying home, following the guidelines.
All right, and
unless she's called to active duty, then she's got to get out there.
Angela from Sleepaway Camp.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say no, she's not staying inside on this one. One, Angela is obviously a very woodsy person, and she's constantly finding her way back to Camp Bowling Green, or not Bowling Green. What's it called in the second one? Camp Arawak. What's it called in the second one?
Rolling Meadows.
Rolling Meadows. And then the third one, it's like the neighboring camp. What's that one?
New Horizon.
Yes, right? So she's going places to avoid detection by police and also killing people, so she's getting up close and personal. She's leaving her designated area, which we could say where she would live, which would be, these different camps. So she's definitely breaking quarantine. Absolutely.
But I feel it's one of those scenarios. I mean, yeah, she wants to be around people, but that's up to you. So you said no go on that.
Yeah.
How about Cropsy?
Cropsy, so very much like, no, I would say very much like Jason, but it's not, because Cropsy, in his one and only movie, ventured outside of the camp to chase down Jason Alexander and the bad guy from Hackers.
Hack the Planet.
As well as fucking Dozer, or Glazer. Pretty girl. He could have been a Dozer. That sounds about right. Fucking Glazer, though. So, yeah, no, Cropsy, he's not sticking to the rules.
All right, so that's a big negatory for Cropsy. How about Michael Myers?
Yeah, he's definitely staying home. That's all he wants to do is stay home.
All right.
Fuck no. He is walking around Haddonfield, just fucking up bitches. No, he's definitely breaking quarantine.
All right, so that's a big X on that. And for the creme de la creme, the 13 here. Who's the last guy? Who should that be? How about Leatherface?
Leatherface, yes. Leatherface is staying home. That's usually where his base of operations are. His SOP is to basically hang out at the house while other people lure them to the house for him to kill.
I think because Texas is a big place. Honestly, by the time this shit blows over, knock on wood.
And the Sawyer family seems to own a large piece of property. So it's not that he's necessarily not leaving his home. He's not leaving his property. He can get out, get a little sun, get a little chase in, and still never fucking leave the confines of the
chase
Sawyer
the pigs
plantation.
around.
Right, yeah, he's good.
Okay. So I got Jason, yes. Freddy, no. Ash, yes. Herbert West, yes. Jerry Dandridge, no. Uncle Red, no. Bigfoot, no. Mick Garris, yes. Jill Valentine, yes. Angela, no. Cropsy, no. Mike Myers, no. But Leatherface, yes.
Yep.
I think that's 13.
Yeah. 3, 4, you got anything else for us, buddy?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that's all I got.
Alrighty. Well, hey, thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate it. As always, you know where to find us if you're already listening, but if not, tell your friends. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play Music, Podbean.
God, I feel so shitty cutting into your shit. Should we talk about Resident Evil 3, or we save that for something else?
Another time.
Okay, all right.
So that's it. You can always find us on Instagram at Here Comes the Spooky, at Twitter and Facebook at Here Comes Spooky. You can also email us at herecomesthespooky@gmail.com. Allie, if you're listening, and I know that you do, email us. let us know what you would like to hear. I know that you're listening, so let us know.
We're in your head. Are we doing the big outro now?
Yeah, you ready?
No, I have an improvement. Stay inside and let's...
Okay.
Okay. Take 2. Stay inside
and let's
stay spooky.
That was
nailed it.
All right. Peace.
All right, dude.